Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. You may recall in my previous video I reviewed a lovely book on the Hammer Studios called The Hammer Vault. As I mentioned, remember I mentioned in my other video, I've got another equally fantastic book on the Hammer Studios, and that book is The Hammer Story, co-written by Marcus Hearn, who wrote the previous book, The Hammer Vault, and Alan Barnes, with a foreword by Christopher Lee himself. So another book where I could sit here and utter superlatives about all afternoon. This is another beautiful book on the Hammer Studios. It really is. I'll just read you the inside flap just to give you an idea of the book's contents. The only authorised history of Hammer films. Half a century ago, Hammer, then a small British company, a production company, released its first gothic horror film, The Curse of Frankenstein, quickly followed by Dracula, ushered in a whole new era of blood and barely restrained cleavage and colour, mixing sex and horror with a style and panache that made Hammer world famous. More than 70 horror, science fiction, prehistoric adventure and thriller films emerged from the company during the next 2 decades, and Hammer firmly established itself as master of the genres, making international stars of Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, and inspiring a whole generation of Hollywood filmmakers, including the likes of George Lucas, Martin Scorsese and Tim Burton. The Hammer Story is the definitive authorised history of Hammer films, and the company has provided unlimited access to its archives. The crypt doors have been thrown wide open, revealing a treasure chest of nearly 500 rare posters, photographs, press books, clippings and even ticket stubs. So the authors invite you to join them on a journey through the history of Hammer films, including an illustrated commentary on over 60 key films, articles on Hammer's non-horror movies and TV work, special features on the stars, the technicians and the studio, and a comprehensive filmography of every film and TV series produced by Hammer to date. So yeah guys, if you're looking for another good book on the Hammer Studios, just like the other one, the Hammer Vault, I would strongly recommend this book to you. It's a book that every Hammer fan should have, you know, on the bookshelf. I'll just show you the interior of it. Lovely lavish book this. As I say, forward by the late great Christopher Lee himself. Oh, what a way to open a book on Hammer. The lovely, gorgeous Veronica Carlson, who starred in 3 Hammer movies, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, the horror of Frankenstein, and Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. Lovely actress and extremely talented lady. Love Veronica Carlson. There's the foreword by the late great Christopher Lee himself. Great photo there on the right of the Devil Rides Out, where they're in the circle, battling the supernatural satanic forces. So yeah, so it starts off the exclusive years 1934 to 1954. Yeah, fantastic book on Hammer again. Quatermass Experiments, another iconic Hammer movie. Curse of Frankenstein, that's the one that started it all for Hammer, really got the ball rolling for them in terms of, you know, being associated with horror movies. You know, Peter Cushing, absolutely flawless performance as Baron. I know I've said this many times, but yeah, absolutely flawless you know, performance as Baron Victor Frankenstein. Abominable Snowman. Hammer Goes to War. Camp on Blood Island and other war movies that he did. The very first Dracula, 1958, starring Christopher Lee. I've watched that movie so many times. I absolutely love it. It's my all-time favourite Dracula movie. That was the movie that really set off Christopher Lee's career with, you know, in terms of playing Count Dracula for Hammer. This is a gorgeous book, it really is. Revenge of Frankenstein. All the Hammer films are covered here, you know, in good detail, interspersed with many lovely photographs, you know, of the stars, you know, outtakes and so forth, behind the scenes. I say, I can't utter enough superlatives about this book. It's just fantastic. The Bride of Dracula. But these guys certainly know their stuff when it comes to putting together, you know, a comprehensive book on the Hammer Studios. You know, it's fantastic. Shadow of the Cat. Yeah, to say, really well done book on Hammer. You know, The Old Dark House. I say, I can't recommend this book, you know, highly enough. The Evil of Frankenstein, another great Frankenstein movie starring the late great Peter Cushing. Yeah, so they're all in here. Flesh Blood, 1965 to 1959. The Nanny, starring Bette Davis. Rasputin, Plague of the Zombies, The Reptile. They're all here, guys. All the Hammer classics. Prehistoric Adventure. Frankenstein Created Woman. That was quite an unusual Frankenstein movie, in that it dealt quite a lot with the transportation of souls into bodies. Excuse me. Unlike the other Frankenstein movies, which were mostly of a scientific nature, this actually went a step further, explored new territory in regards to, you know, putting souls into bodies and that. You know, fantastic movie. So again, sort of like great Peter Cushing. Oh, he really done the business when he played the Baron. In fact, any role he played, really. I mean, as I've said before, he could lift the movie just by his screen presence. The movie might be a little bit mediocre, but just by virtue of him being in the movie, it just added that little bit of enjoyability to it. Hammer Glamour. Need I say more? Yeah, as I say, love this book, guys. Just like as with the Hammer Vault, it's a marvellous book. The Devil Rides Out. Great adaptation of the famous Dennis Wheatley chiller. Oh, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. One of my all-time favourite Dracula movies. Watched that movie so many times. I absolutely love it. There's even a chapter on Journey to the Unknown, the Hammer TV series that was shown in the late 60s. I've always wanted to see that movie released on DVD and Blu-ray, you know, but for some reason they just haven't got round to it. So I just hope they do it. Just excuse me a minute while I just put the flaps come out of place. Yes, I hope they do Journey to the Unknown one day. Like I'd be the first in line to get that. Some fantastic stories in that series. I used to watch it as a kid, you know, growing up in the late 60s, and some great guest stars as well, you know, like Sir Dennis Waterman and, you know, people like that, you know. So yeah, guys, this is a fantastic book on the Hammer. There's even a chapter on the Hammer horror series and the Hammer House of Mystery and Suspense, which is another series I'd love to see released on DVD or Blu-ray. I've got the Hammer House of Horror that was first shown in the UK in the winter of 1980. I've got that on Blu-ray. Every story's fantastic in there, really is. There you go, Dracula AD 1972. The late great Christopher Lee. Unmatched in regards to, I mean, I've never said this many times, but Christopher Lee is unmatched when it comes to portraying Count Dracula. You've even got a chapter on Hammer's comedic movies as well, the likes of On the Buses and Man About the House, two of my all-time favourite 70s comedies. Scars of Dracula. Taste the Blood of Dracula, another great Christopher Lee Dracula movie. Yeah, so as I say, guys, if you love Hammer films and you want you know, a real comprehensive, entertaining, lavishly presented book, I would highly recommend you get this one, The Hammer Story. Just like the Hammer Vault that you've got here, you see two fantastic high class brilliant books on Hammer, the history of Hammer Studios, you know, interspersed with many you know, interesting photographs and that, you know. So yeah, I can highly recommend these two books, guys. No, if you're a Hammer fan, you know, you need to get these books because they really are, you know, they're fantastic reads. Yeah, okay, guys. So as I say, you know, fantastic books. If you enjoyed this video, you know, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and a little bit of self-indulgence here. If you are a Hammer fan, you might be interested to know that I've written 2 books myself on the Hammer Studios, which you can get in paperback and in ebook formats. So you can get details about them on my website. So yeah, 3 books on Hammer, because I wanted to do my own homage to the studio, which has given me some really great pleasure over the years, you know, watching all those wonderful movies as a kid growing up, you know, in the late 60s and early 70s, you know, like Universal. They formed the basis for my love of horror today. So yeah, guys, as I say, you know, I can't recommend this book highly enough, and the other one as well, the Hammer Vault. Okay, so all going well. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, guys.